My name is Sarah, and I live with my husband, John, and our son, Michael. John and I have been happily married for 10 years, or at least we were. Our life seemed perfect. A beautiful house, lovely garden, and a peaceful, stable routine together every day. John worked tirelessly to provide for our family. He was a loving husband and father. 6 months ago, we hired Alex for household help. He also assisted with Michael's daily needs. Alex was polite, quiet, and always smiling warmly. Initially, I thought of him as background. One evening, everything changed unexpectedly. I arrived home late. John was working, and Michael was asleep. I entered the kitchen and found Alex alone, reading a book, completely lost in thought. Tired from work, I sat beside him. We started talking, and I truly noticed him. He shared his story, moving to the city alone, working hard, and having no family. That conversation lasted too long, and after that, something between us shifted irreversibly and undeniably. Days later, John left for a business trip. The house only had me, Michael, Alex. On the first night, we had dinner together. Later, we talked and laughed in secrecy. I felt too comfortable with him. He made me feel seen, something I deeply missed. Then I kissed him. It was brief, yet it felt like an unforgivable betrayal inside. I immediately pulled away, telling him it was a mistake. He stayed silent, just staring. That night, guilt consumed me entirely. I had betrayed John, and I couldn't undo it. I told myself it wouldn't happen again, but days later, I kissed Alex once more. This time, it wasn't brief, it was deep, passionate, and I didn't want to stop. I felt guilt and excitement simultaneously. I loved John, yet Alex made my heart race. John returned, and I acted normal, but inside, I carried a secret destroying me. Alex remained professional around John, but when alone, we both knew what we had done. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. The fire inside me was uncontrollable. I felt immense guilt, but my desire for Alex overshadowed everything else in my life. When I kissed John, I thought of Alex. I felt like a terrible wife mother. Then one night, everything changed again. I discovered that John was also keeping a secret. I found messages on his phone from another woman. My heart shattered into tiny pieces. Fury consumed me. How could he betray me? But then realization struck me harshly. I was no better than him. We both had been living lies, betraying each other. Now I faced a choice: confront John, confess everything, or continue pretending nothing ever happened. That night, I decided I couldn't carry this burden anymore. The truth had to emerge. After dinner, when Michael slept and Alex had left, I sat with John nervously. My hands trembled. I took a deep breath, and finally spoke words haunting my soul. "John, I need to tell you something," I said, my voice barely above whispering. He looked confused. "What is it?" he asked, unaware of the storm about to unfold. I've been seeing someone," I admitted, my gaze refusing to meet his shocked eyes. Silence filled the room like suffocating air. My heart pounded, awaiting his inevitable reaction. Then after an eternity he finally spoke. "Who?" he asked, his voice eerily calm. I told him everything. Alex, the moments shared, the kisses. I apologized, tears streaming uncontrollably. Would he leave? Yell? Hate me forever? I braced myself for the storm ahead. But he didn't yell. Instead he whispered, "I've been seeing someone too, Sarah." Shock paralyzed me. My chest tightened. "What?" I barely managed to say, feeling disbelief completely. "It started months ago," he confessed. "I didn't mean for it, but it happened." We stared at each other, two broken people tangled in lies, unsure of what's next. Strangely, truth didn't destroy us. It opened the door for an honest, long overdue conversation together. We talked about our mistakes, love, and whether we wanted to save our marriage. Despite everything, we agreed. We still loved each other and didn't want our marriage ruined. The next day we made changes, starting with letting Alex go. It felt necessary. We also decided to seek marriage counseling, knowing healing wouldn't come quickly or easily. The following weeks were difficult. Trust was fragile, and ours had completely shattered. John didn't fully trust me. I couldn't completely trust him either, but we tried. We worked daily, communicating, being honest, and slowly piecing our broken relationship back together carefully. John came home earlier, We spent more time together, healing wounds one step at a time. One day, I finally asked about the woman. Who was she? I asked softly. John hesitated before answering. Her name is Lisa. She works at my office, Sarah. Pain stabbed my chest, but I needed to ask. Do you still see her? No, he replied firmly. It ended before you told me about Alex, I swear. That reassured me slightly, yet it still hurt deeply. We had both caused wounds. Months passed and things improved. The pain faded, but the scars always remained underneath. Our marriage grew stronger, rebuilt through honesty, effort, and choosing each other every single day. 1 year later, John and I took a weekend trip together, finally reconnecting completely. On our final night, he surprised me, handing me a small, unexpected velvet box. Inside was a wedding ring. A fresh start, he said, eyes filled with hope. Tears welled up in my eyes. I love you, John, I whispered emotionally. I love you too, Sarah, he replied, holding my hands tightly, unbreakable this time. We chose to leave the past behind and focus on building a better future. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but it was real. And for the first time, peace returned. Now John and I are stronger than ever, attending counseling to keep things healthy. We learned love takes work. Marriage isn't perfection, but choosing to fight for love. Looking back, we almost lost everything. But instead of breaking, we rebuilt, growing even stronger. Mistakes were made, but we learned. We healed. And ultimately, in the end, love won. Our home is now filled with honesty, laughter, warmth, and love. And that's enough.